All right, hey guys, Dubs Arter here, and I wanted to kind of talk about the thought process behind trading this bike in and what kind of made me move to that point and kind of my thoughts. This is one of the first videos I'm kind of doing in front of the camera, and I'm not real comfortable in front of the camera, so bear with me in this process. But I really did think that she deserved a decent video about my thought process. And I wanted to kind of start by saying that I really enjoyed having this motorcycle. I learned a lot on this motorcycle. And this is technically my fourth motorcycle now. And so I kind of started with a Yamaha XJ600. And as I've discussed in some of my previous videos, I went down in that motorcycle. And so I ended up getting the CBR 250R kind of as a learning motorcycle. And we'll talk about that a little bit more as I relate it to this bike purchase. But then I got a 86 Honda Gold Wing. And really I did that because I wanted to kind of get into more of a touring bike without dropping a whole lot of money. And so I wanted to get a motorcycle that I could learn how to drive a big bike on after having the Honda CBR. So I kind of had both those at the same time. I did a lot of research on kind of what my next purchase was going to be for a motorcycle, and ultimately I decided to go with this bike, and I traded in both the CBR and the Goldwing for this bike. And really, I had plans of having this bike for several years, really. And I didn't make the purchase lightly at that point. I was really excited. It was one of the first ones off the showroom floor, kind of in my area. And it came in the beautiful blue color. I love the blue color on it. And I kind of had to have it. And not really having a ton of time, less than a year on a touring motorcycle, I didn't really know a lot of the shortcomings. So hopefully anybody kind of looking at this, maybe this will kind of help you when making that decision for yourself. But when this came out, I had to have it, and it was one of the first ones off the showroom floor. And in retrospect, I think maybe I should have waited. I definitely should have waited for it to kind of get out into the marketplace and see what it did. Honda kind of priced this and put this kind of in that sport touring or high-end sport touring market. And I think, they were replacing the outgoing ST1300, I think it was. And they were kind of going up against the FJR 1300. They're kind of trying to maybe style it like a road glide and kind of go road glide, street glide, that sort of bike, kind of go after that from the Harley segment. And then you've got a couple of Yamaha tours, and then you've got a couple of cruisers in the Kawasaki market that they were kind of trying to place this and differentiate themselves. And I think from a touring standpoint and an execution standpoint, I think even Honda would have to admit they failed on that point. But at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with this motorcycle. It's a great motorcycle. I think now it really is priced at a really good price for the market, and you can pick up one of these, for a pretty decent steal now, compared to when I purchased it. But I got no rebates, so right off the showroom floor, I purchased it for $17,500. With my trade-ins and stuff, I brought it down quite a bit and put some down payment on it. But it was a lot of money for me, and maybe it wasn't a whole lot of money. Maybe it's not a whole lot of money to some of my viewers out there, or to anybody watching this, but it was a ton of money for me to spend on a motorcycle, especially in my area, something that I couldn't ride for 5 months out of the year, basically. But I went ahead and did it. And I think that I gained some valuable experience, and I definitely I've learned from this process. So I want to kind of now go through what exactly kind of led me to wanting to get into a different bike, and what exactly I think were some of the shortcomings with this bike, as well as some of the good things. Like I said, my starting out at the beginning of the video here, it really is a great bike. Anybody that owns it, it's going to have a reliable, really nice motorcycle. So there's absolutely nothing wrong from a reliability standpoint, and those sorts of things. But there were just some small things to me that made a huge difference. I think as I kind of mature in my riding style and what I'm looking for, that this really didn't fit that for me any longer. So the first thing is, you know, I think Honda, and I made reference to this in my windshield video, Honda did fail with the windscreen that they put on this bike. Had it come off of the showroom floor with the tall touring windshield, I think it would have placed it a lot more correctly in the marketplace. But it really isn't a huge deal. It takes 10-15 minutes to do. And it's something that I did really within the first week of owning the motorcycle. I swapped it out to the Honda tall touring windshield. The next thing is the cruise control. I think really for a bike in this segment, it really does need cruise control installed. And if you look at its nearest competitors, they're pretty much all come stock with cruise control. And that's something that, you know, if they're touting it as a long distance touring motorcycle, it definitely should have come with that. Kind of the third thing that I wanted to talk about was the warranty process. If you look at the Honda F6B Goldwing as well as the standard Goldwing, they all come with a 3-year warranty. And this came with a 1-year warranty, and I was appalled, really. When I first purchased it, even the dealer that I bought it from told me that there was a 3-year warranty on the motorcycle, just because of the price that Honda was charging for it. And really, from that standpoint, I'm not getting where that came from. In Canada, I believe the version there does come with a 3-year warranty or 2-year warranty. But you know, I kind of expected that when I bought my CBR 250R. I really did like that motorcycle, but it was a cheap motorcycle. I expected it to have a 1-year warranty. It wasn't something that I planned on keeping long term anyway. But it was fun for ripping around and learning on, and you know, I really did. I liked that bike too, and maybe one day I might get another small bike just because of the fun of it. But I expected that from that motorcycle. I did not expect that from this motorcycle, and it was kind of like a jab in the side, you might say, when I learned that after I had already purchased the motorcycle. The next thing is kind of the riding position on this for longer terms, and this is me personally. This may not be you from your riding positions. You know, it's got a very similar riding position to the Honda Goldwing, and a lot of guys love those. They can sit in the saddle for hours. Me personally, you know, I've got some back things, and it kind of last year I had a difficult time taking a lot of longer rides on this bike just because of the seating position for me. And you know, that's why I ended up putting on the highway pegs to try to kind of change that position for myself. The next thing is kind of the saddlebags kind of were poorly designed in my eyes. It should have been something that's easy to get into, top loading, but that's not something. I think that's just a design aspect for Honda, and that's, you know, just another small thing that I like to be able to get access into my saddlebags quickly without having to worry about going to unlock them all the time. One thing that they did do really well is putting ABS on the deluxe version here. I think that they did a really good job with that. It works very well. The sound system works really well. From a touring standpoint, if you're looking at these pockets here that kind of pop up, they're really shallow. And honestly, the audio and modes and all of that kind of being down here is somewhat distracting to the rider, I think. I find myself not using any of this stuff while I'm actually riding because I have to still look down to figure out where everything is, and figure out what exactly I want to do on the screen up there. But that may just be me having to take the time to learn it too, so don't let that deter you from purchasing this bike. But it is something that kind of went into the decision for myself as well. Overall, you know, like I said, it's still a great motorcycle. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It was just a personal decision for myself. The next kind of major thing that I wanted to talk about was the aftermarket. And I don't consider myself to be someone that's going to go out and fabricate stuff, nor do I want to take a bike that's this expensive for myself and do overly complicated stuff with it. I like to do simple stuff. You know, for my videos, I like to show you guys how to do things, but at the same time, I'm not going to be one that does heavy modification on a motorcycle, especially at this pricing point. It's not something that I personally, you know, want to do. So when I started looking at the different options and stuff to kind of personalize the bike, I think the run that it had really did limit the aftermarket on something like this, and I don't think it's not a brand thing with Honda. But ultimately, if you look at like their Goldwing, they have tons of different things that you can do to modify those bikes, change them up, personalize them, kind of make them fit you. So I think it was just a matter of looking at the aftermarket on a motorcycle like this. If I was a business owner, I really wouldn't make a ton of things for this motorcycle either. There's just not enough of them out there. There's not enough people buying them to kind of justify doing something on a large scale and making a whole bunch of different products and stuff for it. And so for me, that was something that I enjoy doing. I really do kind of like tinkering with my bike. I like kind of changing things up. You know, I like kind of modding it. I like making these videos for you guys. And really, there's not a ton out there. The next thing is heated grips for me. That's something I really wanted on this bike. And I know that there are some options out there from Oxford and stuff, but I really haven't found a solid option that I really wanted to put on this bike. From a seat standpoint, there's, you know, some limitations, and so you just kind of start compounding that all up. And if you're somebody that likes to work on bikes and you like to be able to mod and things like that, there's just not a ton out there from the aftermarket perspective. And so it was kind of limiting from that standpoint. The next thing that kind of led my decision there to kind of swap this bike out is how quickly Honda decided to start driving the value of the bike down in order to try to start pushing these bikes out into the market. And I think literally I bought mine on the first day it was available, early 2014 here in my area anyway. And I think by August they were already down to the $10,000 or $11,000 mark, and so Honda was putting tons of rebates behind them. And I get it from a business standpoint. You've got a bunch of dealers that are wanting to move these motorcycles, and they weren't really moving. But really, within the first year, to just drive the price of the motorcycle down so much that those of us that bought it in the beginning, you know, I'll be honest, I kind of took that personally a little bit, and that's nothing against the bike itself. That's just my personal feel on it. I don't really want to keep watching the value of the bike that I spent a lot of money on continue to drive down. So that really was a huge factor for me personally. And you know, maybe one day again I'll decide to go with a Honda. But it really was just kind of a jab in the side. And so for me, I kind of combined all of those different things, and I was looking at, you know, the value of my motorcycle continuing to drop, and I just decided, hey, it's time to kind of make a move now for me personally. And I wanted to get a few of these things that I wanted to have on the bike to begin with. I wanted to make a few mods and start making some better videos and that sort of thing. And it was kind of limiting from that standpoint. So, again, I'll say this 100 times over, guys. I really think the way the bike is positioned now, personally, is uh, a better place in the market for this motorcycle. And had it came out at that pricing point, I think it would have done really well. But it really it didn't. And I think anybody picking one of these up now, new or used, is really gonna like this motorcycle. It's really not a terrible motorcycle at all, and I know that I've said a lot of bad things in this video about the bike, but I really do still like the look of the bike. I really still do like the bike. It was just time for myself personally to kind of make that choice and move on. And so it was kind of hard to take all of that out of the equation when I was looking at my new bike. But overall, I think it's a really great bike, and I hope somebody picks this bike up, this very bike, and makes a vlog with it, and they can start vlogging from the seat of this bike and kind of work on making the community better. But yeah, like I said, this is one of my first videos in front of you guys. Let me know what you think. If you want to see more videos like this, I'm definitely willing to kind of get out of my comfort zone and start making these types of videos, and investing more money in my equipment to make that happen. But yeah, you guys will be seeing a new bike reveal here very shortly for Dubs Riders. So look forward to that, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.